So what were some of the biggest challenges you faced while establishing Chronic Ink, and how did you go about overcoming them?
I think there's tons of challenges.
One that stands out to you, one that really maybe resonated with you emotionally, per se?
I think the hardest thing for us was feeling like we deserved. We deserved to be there, feeling like we were one of the best studios, or feeling like we're on our path to get there. And I'm not trying to be hocus pocus and be like, oh, I'm all touchy feely and what does business have to do with that? But the belief that you can be really good. Because I think you can talk about financial challenges, obviously raising money to build your shop.
Yeah.
You can talk about talent acquisition problems. You're a new shop, nobody wants to work for you. How do you do it? We don't have any clients. How do you get clients? But all of those challenges, I think, are on par with each other in terms of difficulty.
Yes.
But once you believe, if you believe you can solve a problem, you'll most likely solve it. I'm not building rockets to Mars.
Yeah.
Where there's a real technological challenge. If I don't acquire a certain engineer, I'm not going to be able to figure that out.
Got it.
Our challenges were challenges that other service businesses have solved 1,000 times. I might not have solved them, but other people have. So if I knew where to look, and if I believed, then it's very likely that I would end up overcoming that challenge over time with perseverance.
I think, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, and so I think it's just believing in yourself. So once you believe in yourself, every challenge becomes way less significant.
And I think that's very interesting you say that, because I've had this feeling going into business where business isn't it's more of an emotional journey than it is anything else. As you said, as you start to kind of believe in yourself, whether you did that by actually doing the work or meditating or however you do, that's the real challenge. It's not so much, because anyone can figure out talent acquisition once you get going, but it's the belief. So how did you go about acquiring that belief? Or do you just do the actions that you had to do and it kind of caught up with you? Or how did you get over the imposter syndrome kind of?
So I think I'm lucky. I think in a sense I was born with a very stubborn personality. So Chronic Ink has been around for 15 years. The other business that I was in didn't get profitable for about 9 years. So it kind of overlapped a little with Chronic's time.
Yeah.
Pierce has been around ever since 2017. So that's 6-7 years. Books Open, which is the new company we're doing, is 3 years in. I just don't like to give in or give up. And so I think a lot of that I have to thank my parents for just giving me that gene. Because I do think some of it is at birth.
Yeah. For sure.
And then when you couple not giving up to just being very aware and working very hard, then if you work very hard and you're very aware and you won't give up, then naturally you just start to overcome challenges, little ones. And when you start overcoming challenges, then you're oh shit, I can do this.
You're building the momentum.
Yeah, right? And so if you stick with it long enough, most of the time, you'd be cool. It's my daughter yesterday. She has a little camera that she carries around. And all of a sudden she was the screen is black. She's I can't, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
She started freaking out. And I'm yo, take it easy. Just look at it and just figure it out.
Yeah.
And then so she realized that she had stuck one of the stickers on the outside of the lens, and that's why the screen went black. So she couldn't see anything. She stuck a sticker on it. But that didn't take her that long to figure out. It took her 2 minutes.
Yeah, yeah.
But then if you do that over and over and over again, by the 6th or 7th time, you're not going to freak out. You're just going to be oh, got a problem, solve it.
Solve it, yeah.
Right? And then you start to build that self-confidence. And another thing that happened to us was, so I don't know, this is actually on our website. So I have a tattoo on my arm. It's from one of my co-founders. His name is Tristan.
Yep.
One of the best tattoo artists in the world. He's no longer with the company, but him and I really had a pretty lucky encounter at one of the early conventions. So it was the first tattoo convention we ever went to. Nobody knew him. Nobody knew me. We were placed by the washroom. We had no clients. It was my birthday, actually.
Wow.
And we're fuck, we can't just sit here and look like we have nothing to do. So I'm why don't you tattoo me? He's cool. So he literally didn't really ask me what I want. And he just took out a marker and started drawing on my arm. But
Awesome.
I've known him to be like that.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm like, okay, cool. You just do whatever you want. Like I'm here. I'm all in for the company. So I don't even care what I'm getting. As long as you're about it, we look like we're doing something, then let's do it. Because it's better than just sitting here twiddling our thumbs and have no clients and look like schmucks, you know?
100%.
So then he did this tattoo for me, and I can see how good it was. Sort of like just like
Yeah,
looking
yeah.
at it. But
Sounding
also, all the tattoo artists from the convention were coming around and saying, "Whoa, like look at that!" And like there were guys like, "How long have you been tattooing, Tristan?" He's like, 2 years, and they were like, "Fuck."
right?
So like I knew it was good, but I didn't really know how good, right? Until it
Yeah.
was finished and I could kind of see what was going on. It was very complex, and so we went up for a competition called Tattoo of the Day, and it was so we were the finalists. So at the end of it, it was us and a person I think from Finland, and they were like, "We can't decide. Both of you guys are equally good." I'm like, "There's only one award. Like,
Yeah.
what the hell's going on?" So they did a coin flip, like
Wow.
literally. And of course, fate would have it we would win the coin flip. The other person was mad as hell.
I would be too. Yeah.
Right,
can't
like
imagine.
a coin flip. Like I flew from Finland to lose on a coin, you know? But I would say all of the little wins plus that moment, when we went back home with like Tattoo of the Day, we're like, shit. That's when I knew, I'm like, wow, Tristan is good, you know? And I want to make sure that as his partner and co-founder, that I match his genius. And it was like, you know, like if you're like a responsible person,
yeah,
if you've got like a strong backbone and you've got a partner that's kick-ass, you don't want to suck.
100%.
You know, and so you amp up even more. You know, if you're playing with Kobe Bryant, you know, if you're playing with Michael Jordan, if you care, you're gonna go harder.
Oh yeah.
Right. And so I think that's kind of what happened to us. And then we were lucky, you know, from Tristan, then we had Tony, like an artist, and then we just kept winning, and it was like, okay, you know. And so I do some of it has to be fate.